Welcome back to the Canada Specialist Program series. Great to have you all back, and also great to have Josephine back with us from VRL, joining us from Vancouver today. Thank you, Josephine.
You're welcome.
Josephine, we've had you on a number of times. We've done a lot of VRL updates, which is awesome, and we have the network across the country. So maybe could you just kick us off with a reminder of the route map, and what are you going to tell us about today?
Absolutely. So yes, hello everybody. Glad to be here again today. So Via Rail, as probably you all know already, is Canada's national railroad system. So we go right across the country on a year-round basis. But the route that we're going to talk about today in particular is the red line called the Canadian train, which is probably the most popular train sold in the Australian market. And in particular, we're going to talk about the Vancouver to Jasper journey because it ties into an itinerary that we call Yukon via Jasper. And as mentioned, we're going to talk mostly about the Canadian, which is what we call a classic train journey, because you do enjoy all the services on board the train and you sleep on the train at night. And of course, we always travel through the Canadian Rockies through this wonderful view of Mount Robson during daylight hours, no matter what time of the year. So as I mentioned, we do actually have a little itinerary that's called Yukon via Jasper. It's available year round. And basically this involves landing into Vancouver, then hopping on our Canadian train to travel for one night and one day into Jasper. When you arrive into this mountain community, you have a chance to enjoy the many different activities there. And this can be for as quick a visit as 2 to 5 nights. Then we suggest you take the Sundog shuttle into Edmonton International Airport. You'll hop on a flight, perhaps an Air North flight or WestJet or an Air Canada, and you'll fly north up to Yukon, where you can then enjoy anywhere from 3 to 7 nights or longer, as there's lots to do there, and Sean will tell you more about that. And then from Yukon, you can fly back with Air North, WestJet, or via Air Canada, back to Vancouver. So it makes a nice little triangle, offers things that your clients like the train journey, and of course, all that wonderful outdoor mountain activity to go with it. So while on the train, people will say, well, what's the scenery like? So of course, as I mentioned, we do see the Canadian Rockies, the mountains traveling through. We travel along the rivers also, which also provide a great scenery. And this is actually showing our train in the summertime. So as you can see, it's very long. And you will also notice, if you look really closely into the pictures, a couple of the glass domes where you're going to see all the scenery. One of the great things is you get to see all the dramatic skies also. This is showing a summer storm moving in. At nighttime, you get a chance to see the stars. Sometimes you get a chance to see Aurora Borealis also. That has happened to me when I've been traveling on the train. So there's always something to look at outside the windows. In fall time, of course, we get to appreciate all the great colors that would be happening about now on our train journey. And
the winter. Oh, I do love these winter. I mean, I love them all. It's Canada's such a seasonal destination, 4 seasons, and all the different pictures of the train through the seasons is fascinating, Josephine. Thank you. But of course, it's pretty special in the winter. So does it operate throughout the whole winter? Are there any days the train doesn't run?
Yeah. So, again, as Canada's national network, we go right across the country on a year-round basis. So the Canadian does operate every week, 2 times a week, though. We're not a daily service because of the length of the journey also. So we leave from Vancouver on Mondays and Fridays, basically. And I'll just say that one because the other ones I can't remember off the top of my head along the way. But basically, again, because it's overnight to Jasper, you would arrive on the Tuesday or the Saturday. To go all the way to Toronto, it's 4 days or 4 nights. Now, with the winter journey, one thing I like to point out is if any of you grew up with the snow globe that you had by your bed or on your dresser, if you sit up in that glass dome there when there's a snowstorm going outside, that's exactly how you feel, like you're sitting in the little snow dome up top. So very magical, showing some great scenery here. And of course, a chance to see animals along the way. In the wintertime, it will be more of elk, deer, wolves, actually, is easy to see, or better time to see in the wintertime. Bears are asleep at this time, but you can have a chance to see them in the summertime, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, and of course you've mentioned it is a sleeper train, so you do stay on board the train. And I know there's a number of different sleeping options. So what are the sleeping options, Josephine?
Exactly. So in a train carriage, we have a combination of all three. Our least expensive category is called the upper and the lower berth, and that's these yellow colored ones here. Then we move over to our most popular choice is the cabin for two, private cabin for two people, which are the green ones here. And then we also have the cabins for one, the individual ones here. Shower in the hallway here that is shared amongst this shower. And Sleeper Plus means that you have all your meals included also, somewhere to sleep at night, all the activities on board the train. Now, I've talked to a lot of you about what the cabins are like, and because of limited time, I'm just going to go through these very quickly with the images, but with the follow-up, you will be sent our brochure that has more into detail. But basically, during the daytime, you have a daytime situation with a toilet and a wash basin in the cabins. And then at night, it's changed to the beds and the staff come in and do that. We have the ability to have a larger suite unit for families traveling together or people that want two lower beds. Cabin for one is the one that I prefer because you lie right beside the window, so you always get great scenery, but you're also very, very close to your traveling companions when you take a cabin for one. And then the berth accommodation, as I mentioned, which is the least expensive, and it's made private by closing the curtains back and forth, but very comfortable beds. We have the shower, as I mentioned, down in the hall. So just like a hotel, you're provided with the towels, soap, shampoo, conditioner. And then we also have our luxury prestige sleeper class. So much bigger unit. The washroom has a shower, toilet, and wash basin. But then the big thing is it has the full double bed as opposed to the upper and the lower bed that you saw earlier. Okay.
Oh, that looks amazing. I love that prestige looks awesome. So yes, there are some other areas, some other cars on the train. Tell us about those, Josephine.
There is. So this is the area where you would go to socialize. This is the end of the car, in essence, the caboose. It's called the Prestige Park car. There's this very nice lounge seated area. And then there's also a glass dome area up top where you can go and sit. These areas are reserved for Prestige guests in the summertime. From departure until 4:30 p.m., except for the Vancouver to Jasper trip. But in the wintertime, all the clients in Sleeper Plus have access to this area. Then we have sort of the bar cars or lounge areas where the staff will help you with some drinks. The dining car is a very important part of the trip. It is seated in parties of four, so a chance to get to meet other travelers on board the train. And this is where you are going to enjoy breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's food prepared by the chefs on board in the kitchen. So excellent, excellent food.
Looks good.
And after that, there's the Skyline car where we have social areas where games are played. We do things like Canadian beer and wine tasting. Bingo's back on, which is a lot of fun. Canadian Trivial Pursuit. And these are areas where you're going to meet other international visitors, but you will also meet Canadians because they do use the service with us. So,
Yeah, and I
so
know
it's
that's a
very
big
much
thing that you
cruise
like.
on rails.
You like that social interaction that you do get to meet other travelers. It's a big part of traveling on the train, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's right. Very much so. Exactly. So that's it.
So, Josephine, I know you want to finish up with some of your top tips. So just talk us through these, please.
Yes, so because we do have just a short period here, just a quick reminder to people when you're traveling with us on the Canadian that your carry-on bag, which is your carry-on for the plane size also, will come into the cabin with you, but your big bags are going to go into the baggage car because the cabins are smaller. As I mentioned, it is considered a true train journey as you sleep on the train in your cabin at night. Canadians travel on the train, so you get a chance to meet them. You'll see the mountains during daylight hours. And Prestige Park car is open to all Sleeper Plus guests in the off-peak winter season. And Prestige class is available to book from Vancouver to Jasper as a one-night journey with us online. So if you want to book it in the summertime, then you have to get a hold of us. And that is it for me. So thank you. Merci.
The claps are coming in. Thank you, merci. That was amazing amount of information in a short period of time, Josephine. But it was great. So many pictures. We learned a lot. Thank you. And also, I do know that you have the Well, on a cruise line, it's the sail away drinks. You have the Bon Voyage drinks, right? As
We
you
do.
leave.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, we do. That's right. For all Sleeper Plus and Prestige, we do the Bon Voyage on departure. That's right.
Oh, I love it. Thank you. Thank you so much.